you.
You're welcome. And I want to show you how my daughter looked when she went to college, your age. Your daughter that lives here.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. That's cool. Did she someone
She
take
was
that
probably
picture?
18, and she went to Queens College in New York.
Oh, Queens.
Flushing, New York. I don't know if you know that. You
My
know.
father's from Queens.
Yeah. She's a very sweet girl. Everybody likes her. Everybody. She is a coordinator of a 220 speech therapy.
Oh, wow.
But your profession is speech therapy
Oh, that's
in the school system. And yeah, I also have a paper for you. Miracles and coincidences. What happens during my lifetime. Terrible things happen, terrible. But you have to live and go on. Go sit down, sweetie.
I've got to sit back here by the camera, but I'll take the tea with me. How about that?
Oh, you're making pictures already?
Yes, we have to make pictures. We have to make sure the camera's working. That's my job. I'm not so good with the
You're a
camera.
photographer.
I'm a better note taker.
So why don't you sit down now and we have a bite?
Okay.
And
Okay,
then
I'll
you'll
sit
feel
down.
better.
And then I'll
sweetie?
feel better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll talk. I also have very nice pictures. This is he was a gorgeous, gorgeous guy, my cousin, American cousin.
Oh, okay.
And he was on the Exodus, he enlisted, he was on the, Exodus took Jews, the survivors to Palestine, but they didn't let them in, and they were arrested and they turned back to France. And Ben Gurion was a very good friend of his. He's a little older. And this is a write-up about him. He passed away last year. He lived in California. So I don't know if you are interested in this. This is a write-up about what you did. I don't know if you are interested.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
That's great.
Not everybody would do a thing, but he put his life on the line. This is what he did. He wanted to help the survivors, to bring them to Palestine. And they didn't let them in. They turned the ship and they arrested them and they brought them to France. And he wrote a big article in New York Times. He wrote about all the things what happened there. They were fighting. They were fighting. And you know what? I wanted to go with the ship, but I was afraid because I was afraid of hunger. I was too hungry, and I was afraid to be hungry again. And I didn't know that he was on the ship. I was in Germany that time. And from our company, we lived together in a home. A girl got crazy, and they had to shoot her. She got crazy because they were fighting with the English. The English were fighting, with the Jews. The Jews didn't have the ammunition, they were shooting. And his best friend was killed by the English. Also one of the crew. He was in the crew.
That is quite a story.
He was a very good friend with Ben Gurion. He made millions for Israel. He was a good speaker. So he was speaking in synagogues and colleges, and people was hundreds that were throwing to help Israel. They were very poor down in Israel. They had very bad times.
Yeah.
See, this Ben Gurion, the president of Israel, they were feeding birds, I think. Or something. They were discussing, I don't know. But he was a very good friend with Ben Gurion. He went every year to Israel, every year. He used to take, after the war, he used to take college children to Israel to show them Israel. But he was so beautiful when he was young, charming. He was. Hello? Oh, Sarah, I didn't hear from you a long time. Oh, oh. Yeah. Yes, you have. Sarah, when are they coming back? Tell me just. Oh, okay, okay. So they are with the parents. Okay. Sarah, I have now the beautiful girls here for interview, the college girls. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'll talk to you later, okay, sweetheart? Okay, I love you. Take care. Okay, bye-bye, bye-bye. This is my daughter called. She calls me every day, but she had their grandchildren for a few days. A twin, a boy and a girl, a year old. For 5 days she had them. They went to, the family went to her sons, my grandson, yeah, her son. They had 4 children, 4, 3, and a year.
Oh, wow.
But they're so beautiful. Anyway, her parents they are very rich people, they're all doctors. So they took them to Disney World. They treated them. It cost a lot of money to make a trip like this. So the 2 older children, they took the 2 girls, and the boy and the girl, they left to my daughter.
They're very brave.
What she had. She brought them here. The carriage is like a house.
Sure.
And I had twins too. This daughter's a twin.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
My father was
Usually
a
that
twin
happens when.
Yeah.
in the family.
Yeah. Wow.
So go ahead, sweetheart. You take. I made you popcorn a little. Go drink. It's very hot, yeah?
Yeah.
It is hot, but it's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah. Here you have a plate, sweetheart. Here you have a fork.
Oh, we have forks
Oh,
and we
we
have
have
plates.
forks.
We're being impolite. Why don't you have a plate?
I'm sorry, I didn't know. I just, I was not hungry, you know. I don't have too many things in the house because I didn't go shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow I'll borrow a carriage by somebody, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call this?
A cart.
A shopping cart.
Yeah.
And I'll go over to Shoppers. I'll walk over. It's a long way, but
It is a
but
long way.
I'm gonna go. I have to.
Did you have a good day?
Today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I
Oh,
had three meetings with a rabbi. We had lunch. We have lunch there, and we have in the next building there, the attached building.
Oh.
And after lunch, we had a meeting with a rabbi. Twice a week we have a meeting in the library. And then after we had a meeting, some people came, they want to organize something, you know, a few times, 4 times or 6 times they're going to come here. So tomorrow we'll have with them a meeting. And then we had a monthly meeting.
So many meetings.
For
Lots
now.
of meetings.
Meetings and meetings and meetings.
It's been a long day for you then.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
The tea is hot, huh?
I promise I'll take it with me.
It's very hot.
Oh boy.
Go ahead, snack.
Okay.
Is it okay the way I sit sideways?
Yes, you can sit and you
Yeah.
can face them, or
Yeah.
Yeah?
yes, that's fine. You don't have to talk to the camera.
Yeah, don't worry about talking to the camera. Actually, should we say like date and time, and should we do that?
Sure, why not?
not?
You're recording.
Okay. Hi, I'm Gabrielle Spear, and this is our second interview with Rivka. It's October 3rd. Kathy is on the camera, and Naomi is taking notes. Okay. So we should probably get started. I was wondering if there was anything from the first interview that you felt like you still wanted to go over if there was anything that when we left, you were reminded of, or you wanted to.
Yeah, the only thing I suffered a lot is because I didn't tell my parents that I'm leaving, and this bothered me all my life till today. That's all. Yeah, it was very hard because I knew if I go home, I go to my dad. I knew. They didn't believe it, you know. They let them live for 1 year, from 41 to 42. And May 42, they were all killed. They took them to Lida, the city, Lida, and they were all May 8, 1942.
And did you end up finding out about that afterwards, or did you hear about it while you were in hiding?
I find out. I knew a Polish young man that worked in the post office. We went to the same school, but he was a few years older. And I came once to our town to teach him how to open a saving account. And I remembered his name, and I wrote a letter to him. And he answered me, and I was in Russia then, and he answered me that he gave the letter to my cousin, a second cousin survived in the partisans. He gave the letter to him, and then my cousin sent me a letter to Russia. And then I find out that what happened. Because through all the war, I didn't know really what happened there. There was no news in Russia. We didn't know nothing.
You talked, you said when we left off, you said that you were working in a bank in Russia, and then a bomb went off.
No, when they started bombing the airport.
They started bombing the airport.
Yeah.
Could you...
And the hospital.
Could you hear the bomb go off, or
Sure,
you heard the bomb?
Sure, the siren.
Yeah.
You know. So when I heard this, I said, oh, okay, I'm going out to see what's going on. When I got outside, I didn't go to the home where I lived there with the people, but you know, I should have taken clothes with me or something, a passport I had, nothing. I was afraid to go. I figured I ran, but fast as I can to save my life. And I saw the Russian, what's it called, NKVD, Russia, what is it called in English? KGB. They were next house to us.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked them and there was a big truck there. Please, can you take me to Russia? They said, sure, I'll take you to my mother, and another said, I'll take you to my family, come. They took me, and then I was waiting, and I grabbed a cousin. She was running, she worked in the post office, a first cousin. Mm-hmm. And a younger sister of hers also was working in another office. But I didn't see her. So anyway, she got on the truck with me, but she stopped the truck and she said, whatever will happen with everybody will happen with me, I don't care. I'm going home. She stopped the truck and she went to your dad. So 3 weeks after, they put all the girls and the boys who worked in the Russian offices, and they shot them. They put them near a wall and they shot them all. 3 weeks. She went to your dad. I begged her, come. We'll survive, we'll come back, come. She didn't listen to me. But very sad.
Yeah.
Beautiful girl. She was a year or 2 years older than me.
And at this point, how old were you?
I was 18.
Okay.
In 41, 18.
41. I was wondering, did your coworkers at the bank know that you were Jewish? Did you need a false ID?
They knew. The director was from Russia, a Jewish woman, and the cashier was the wife of the head of the Russian party. Could you believe?
Whoa.
Very big shots. Yeah, she was the cashier. And she was sitting opposite. I was sitting there. I was sitting there. I just took on the book and wrote out the checks. You know, I was a teller. I knew my work very, very good. I learned very fast because the language took me 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I can't.
When you're young and you want,
Yeah.
you can do it.
And the, I'm sorry, the bank was in Russia, or was it in?
This was in a town near us,
Near you.
not far,
Not far.
about 50 miles maybe.
Got it.
By bus, you know, I came for the weekends home.
Okay. So you said that you,
The
when-
Russians were good to us when they came in. They weren't bad.
Yeah.
They liked Jews. They were, you know, like, they weren't anti-Semitic.
Okay.
Yeah, they were nice.
When did you realize that you had to hide? Like, so the bomb went off. How did you know that, like, I need to hide now? Like, what?
I decided right away. You know, it's like I had a feeling when I was running to the truck. I said, like, somebody in the back, run for your life. You know, I didn't hear the voices, but the feeling, it was a funny feeling.
And what did you smell? You could smell the smoke and the.
This I can't remember really because it was quite away. It wasn't close to our office.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was there? Lots of commotion around you? Was there?
Oh my God. Oh yeah. People were running like crazy. They didn't know where to run. I didn't know where I'm running, but I saw the people are going there. I went with them.
Okay. And so you got on the truck. The Russians helped you, and you.
We passed our tram to our town,
Mm-hmm.
and my cousin stopped the truck, and she went home. And I went, and I came. They still had gasoline to Lida, and in Lida, what I saw in the city Lida, we had a lot of relatives. Originally, my family came from Lida, you know, the grandparents. So the bombs were bombing in Lida, and the screams. It reached the sky, the himmel, you know. It reached. How do you say the sky?
Yeah. You could hear.
I never heard in my life screams from people. There only one street was left over in Lida. One street, and the church was left. They didn't bomb the church. And we passed near the church, you know, and it was, we were going on the way to the White Russian border. And then the gasoline on the way,
Oh, they didn't have any more?
no more gasoline. They had to stop. Then we ran by foot. And we ran,
With the Russian?
yeah,
KGB?
everybody together. But we came to the border, I lost everybody. Because a plane came and a German, and looked around, and then 3 planes came and they were bombing the border, and all the tanks with the soldiers that were running to the border, and all the people, and it was terrible, terrible. So there was also a Jewish boy man that he married a girl, and he ran by himself. Well, he saw what's going on, he got scared, and he went back home. He went also to his dad. He went back home because the bombings were all the way, wherever you ran, the bombs. Yeah. So on the border, I lost them, but only one man, that he was the head of the youth organization, in the party youth organization, yeah. And he said, and he was holding my hand. He was just married with a nurse. He also left here, and he ran by himself because he had all the documents from the youth organization.
Oh, okay.
And he said, I must bring this to the office, if not, they're going to kill me. It was crazy. I don't know why he said so. He didn't know what was going on. You know, people were not themselves.
Yeah.
So where I am now.
So you're at the border, and how did you cross? What was your next?
Oh, they didn't let
step?
us through. You know, we had to wait because they asked for passports. But then they opened the border.
Okay.
They saw the bombing. You know, they let the people
Yeah.
go. We didn't have passports.
And then, what did you do next?
Okay, so then we came to a very big station. And on the station, a man, also he was from the party, a big shot. And he asked me, he recognized me, and he asked me, I knew his wife, and they had a little boy. Did you see my wife? I couldn't tell him. His wife was on the truck, and when the truck moved, she fell off with him. I don't know if she got killed or not, I didn't know nothing, but I couldn't tell him this. So he was looking for his wife, he went crazy, like he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What happened to her, I really never find out because I wasn't in touch anymore. It was a tragedy. It was very scary. So we came to a big station. I never saw in my life a station like this. It's a train station. What, such a large station I never saw. And this was near Minsk, before Minsk. And I remember the name, the station, the name of the place was Orsha, O-R-S-H-A. And then after Orsha, we came into Minsk, to the big city, the capital of White Russia. And there the man went to the office to give the papers, and I never saw him again. So I remained by myself. I lost everybody there.
Did you have a plan? What did you decide to do next? Was it to find shelter or to find?
No plan
help?
at all. I just started running with the young couples with children from the capital, from the Russian capital, Minsk. The elderly people remained in the houses, but the bombings, over 100 places were bombing Minsk. It was terrible. I was hungry, and I saw a big line near a bakery. So I went to stay in the line, and then they started bombing the line, so I ran away back. I went back. And I was hiding in a small house down there. There was a train station, but it was bombed and it didn't move. So I ran into a small house there. I think it was a wooden house, some kind. And I was sitting, I was shivering, very scared, you know. The bombs were falling all over. It was, I can describe you. There was, we ran under the bombs. We ran. Whatever happens, you know, you can't help. So, while we were running, I met a lot of people, but nobody talked to nobody. You know, everybody just taught how to survive.
Yeah.
So I met a lot of young people, married young, with one child or two children. Then we came to the, by foot, of course. Then we came to a big, not a street, but a highway. And the highway was going from Minsk to Moscow. And the tanks were going there. And this was, before that, I met a girl, and she was carrying two bundles of bread, white, but stale bread, you know, stale, and black bread. I didn't know what she was carrying, but her hand was bloody. So I say, come, I didn't know her. She was running from Vilna. A Russian girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of a job. She was sent from Russia. There are a lot of Russian young people work there. They were sent from Russia. when the Russian came in 1939. And I say, come, I'll help you. And I was already exhausted and tired, but the tanks went maybe in 6 rows, because it's a very wide road, yeah. And people were running between the tanks, it was terrible. So then I told her, okay, she says, okay. So she gave me one bundle, and I didn't know what I used, my brain didn't work already, because I didn't drink and didn't eat for a few days.
Yeah, so it had been a few days, a week maybe?
No water, no food. And then I say to her, you know what, I'm exhausted. Let's get off the road and let's rest. And then we'll have strength to run further. She says, okay. So we were watching, the tank should not run us over. We have to be very careful. So we went off the road, and I lay down on the grass, and there were little bushes, tiny. It was already, the sun was burning already, it was spring. And you know what? I was feeling I'm dying. I swear, I'm dying. I felt that my soul is coming out of my throat. And I give a look, she has bread. It's bread. I didn't even know what I was carrying. And I say, could you give me, please, a little piece of bread? Maybe this will stop me from dying. So she said, who's going to give me when I'm not going to have? I would never say this to somebody like this. I wasn't hungry, but I said, maybe it will stop the feeling. So she says, what kind of bread do you want, the white or the black? I don't know if I can eat black bread. Give me a stick, just one bite, just to stop the feeling. Anyway, she gave me. And I couldn't even swallow, I couldn't eat already. I was like already on the end. Before that, a feeling that, I felt, I don't know. So anyway, she gave me, I say, you know what? In Russian there is a saying that a mountain with a mountain can come together, but a person with a person can come together. Sometimes I say, we'll come together, maybe he'll come to me and ask me for food. Mm-hmm. And this is what happened. In true life, I gave her food. And I'll tell you later about it.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah. So before that, I forgot. Okay, so anyway, then we ran further. And the end of the city, they were bombing the factories. They were all the factories. So I didn't have strength already to run, and I wanted to give up. So at the end of the city was small houses there. I got into a house, and I sat down on the floor and put my head on a bed. There was a bed, and there were a few people in the house. I didn't know them even. And there was a soldier sitting near the table. And I see the woman gives him a bottle of whiskey. And she's discussing with him, I knew Russian, if he can take her. With his throat was in the back. And I'm listening, and I say, my God, this is a chance that I can go with them. I'm gonna watch, And in the evening was already cool. So I asked the woman if I can take her kerchief. There was hanging a kerchief I knew on the wall, because she was leaving it anyway. Yeah. She didn't take things with her, only maybe a few things. Of course you can take it. So, it's a Russian kerchief. You put in two. It's like a square. You put in two, and then you put in, and you tie. A Russian kerchief. I don't know if you understand what it is.
I can imagine it.
It's needed. It was a needed. in 2 it was warm for me. So anyway, I got outside. I took strength on and I got outside. And I was small and skinny, and people pushed me on the truck. They were like herring there, a full truck. But this guy was drunk. Well, he started driving the truck, and the truck was going like this. I thought we were gonna get killed.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like this. I was so scared. And he brought us in a forest. I never in my life saw trees like this. They were so large. You know, maybe 10 people can.
Like, yeah.
And I give a look. And it was already evening. He couldn't drive anymore. And the Germans were throwing the lights at night to see where they can bomb on the forest. It was like daytime in the night, can you imagine? What is it called, the light, you know, when they throw from the planes?
Yeah, wait,
It has a name, but I can't think.
Like flares? Yeah, the flares from the...
Something. In the wartime, you know, they throw some kind of light that it's
Oh,
like
the headlight. Yeah,
daylight, like daylight.
Yeah.
You can see. And under the tree where I'm standing to hide under the tree from the bombs, a young man is standing. You would never believe. It was a relative of mine.
Oh.
And he was in a Russian uniform as a soldier. He was taken to the army. And he was so scared to death. And I started talking. I said, "From where are you?" And he said, "From Lida." "Oh, what street?" Oh, he says, "You know, I was in Germany so many times, and we are relatives." He told me the name and everything. I remember he came to see the family one time, but I was a child.
That's
you know, I was a
amazing.
small child, so it was hard to remember. But I remember. And then I never saw him again, you know. I don't know. So what happened to him, I'm sure he didn't survive. I'm sure not, because it was a terrible war. So then we started walking. Just walking because we didn't have transportation, everything was bombed. And
Walking through the forest?
yeah,
Through
to the
trees?
forest.
Yeah.
And we came after the forest. A train was standing, but the train didn't move. It didn't move. We got on the train, and the Russian young people that we were running together, they probably also ran the same way. And they were showing at me with their finger. I was unconscious and swollen. And I was like dying, but I didn't have any pain. No pain at all. I was like a dummy. Nothing hurt me. But I was looking at them. I said, "What are you sure? What are they looking at me?" And one woman gave me a little piece of black bread, but I couldn't eat. I didn't touch. I couldn't eat it. I was just sitting like a swollen dummy.
Oh my God. So you were on the train?
On the train. The train started going at night. Only at night. And we came, because in the daytime they were afraid because they could be bombed, you see. So the train was going, all the trip took me 9 days and 9 nights. No food and no water.
So you still had nothing at this point?
No. I was really dying. This is for the 3rd time I was dying. The 3rd time. 2 times on the way. When I was sitting in the little house, I was feeling I'm dying. And the worst that was the first time. This was the worst. I felt that I'm, when the shoulder, my soul was coming out through my throat. It was a terrible feeling. But I think that I am like from the other world. Yeah, many times I think about it. So they brought us to our school, and they put us on the floor. They put hay on the floor, and we were sleeping in a school for a few days. They took us to a restaurant, but I didn't eat. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I took my food and I gave to the girl, to the same girl that I ran with her.
Yeah.
I stuck with her. I think Tanya was your name. That was in the paper.
Oh, yeah, yes,
Or the
you have it.
miracles, about the miracles.
Mhm.
That was your name. I was written down. And we were in the school, and then after, I don't remember how many days, maybe 4 days, something like this, they dispersed us in certain places, you know, mostly on farms. They send us on farms to work. And I came to myself. I don't know how, don't ask me. I don't know how. I really don't. I was laying like that there on the floor. I didn't know nothing. And I survived, you see. It meant to be. So I worked on a farm. And they put us in a home. Our old lady, she was a widow. But there was no food. So from the farm, from the main, on a farm, it's a collective farm.
Okay.
It was communism then, you know. So they shared whatever they took from of the field, they shared.
And you weren't forced to work. You did this.
I had to go to the field to work.
You had to. Okay.
I had to go. So we slept on the floor, and we were 3 girls in the house, and there was no food. But they gave us a little piece of bread a day and oil to dip in. And no water. I didn't see water there. I didn't see nothing. So the woman was cooked little tiny potatoes. She said they didn't grow because we didn't have rain. So they didn't have big potatoes, but tiny. So she cooked a little in a pot potatoes and she gave us. This is the only time she gave us food. She didn't have herself. And we stayed there, I don't remember exactly, maybe 2 weeks, something like this. And while I was working in the field, a very nice woman came over to me. And she said, "Where do you live?" And I told her. And then I told her that, that the director wants to take me to him. I should watch the children, his children. He was a young man, he had a few children. So she says, "Oh, don't go there, because he likes young girls, you better not." Oh, and I heard, she says, "Come to me. I have 3 boys, small, and the oldest was, I know at the end, he was in the 9th grade, I think, the oldest boy. And she said, "Come to me and I'll treat you like my daughter." She took good care of me. She washed my hair, and she sponged me.
And at this point you hadn't.
Yeah, because they don't have baths there.
Yeah,
They don't have.
yeah. What did you wear? What did you wear? Like, what were you clothed in?
I had a new dress when I left, a new pair of shoes, everything new, every clean, nice. This is the only outfit I had. And I went to work like this. Can you imagine? In the same clothes, I rinsed out. I don't know. I can't even remember. Believe me. Can't remember the things. It was not good. It was. I didn't have a change of clothes. I don't know. People survive. You see.
Yeah.
They survive. Water we drank there by the woman where I lived with her, and I was very happy because I had bread there. And she made soup a little, and I was kosher. I didn't eat meat,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't have meat. It was a tough life. So anyway, I slept on the Russian oven.
I
had to sleep on the Russian oven, climb near their bed where she slept with her husband. On the Russian oven. It was a small home, a small house, and she had 3 children, 3 boys.
Wait, so you slept
on the Russian oven.
On it?
Yeah. You see, a Russian oven, you cook at the bottom, and it's high, the Russian oven.
Okay. Got it.
I don't know, I don't remember what I had on the bottom. If I had any bedding, I can't remember even. Can't. It was a very hard life, very hard. And I worked in the field, you know. And okay, this was already good, not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And your father-in-law was taking care on the wheat and everything, on the where they store all the wheat from when they take off and all the things. Yeah, he took care. So he always, when your husband went to him, he always had flour for him. You had to steal.
Yeah.
In a wartime, you steal.
Yeah.
So there was bread. So I was very happy. It was good. So I wasn't hungry. And
how
what was I done? Let me think.
how long were you in this farm? Did you have any sense of time while you were here?
On the farm?
Yeah.
Okay, let me think straight. On the farm, I was maybe a year and a half, something like this. And then I felt that I'm gonna die here. I don't wanna die here. There was nothing want you there. And I wanted to be between Jewish people. I wanna meet Jewish people, you know. So I'm gonna look for Jewish people. A family of the Ukrainian Russia showed up once on the farm, but they were very, only a few weeks maybe, and they disappeared. They only also ran away from the Germans, because the Germans came to Russia too.
Yeah.
And they disappeared, so I got very scared. I got to know them, I liked them. It was a husband and a wife and 3 daughters and 2 sisters, another family, 2 sisters. And when I saw them disappear, I said, oh, I'm not gonna stay here. I have to save my life, I have to go further. I'm gonna go to a city. So I went to the director and he says he can't let me go because all the men went to Stalingrad and mostly they are killed and they need workers. So he doesn't let me go. So I spoke to the woman that took me in and I said, please. And your husband was taken also to Stalingrad to dig the trenches.
Oh, okay.
Where
for
the soldiers
war,
are,
yes,
right? Yeah. And he was a sick man. He had tuberculosis. And we ate from one plate. They eat from one
So it wasn't.
one bowl
Yeah.
with spoons, wooden spoons.
So it was.
I was afraid
So
I'm
you
going to get sick, but
Yeah.
God watched over me. He really watched. So, and okay, when he was taken to Stalingrad
Yes.
to dig the trenches, I decided I don't want to eat your bread. I'm going to get a job for a while. So she found a teacher that she needed help because she was teaching. The teacher had also tuberculosis and also ate from one bowl. And she had a daughter, my age. And okay. So then the soldiers started coming while I was by the teacher going to the front of Stalingrad. You had to be very careful. A lot of soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I knew how to take care of myself. So I was really scared very scared. I watched out, you know. And after that, I started working to a bigger town, to look for a bigger town. And I came to a bigger town, and there were all the offices. They took care of all the farms and all around, you know, like the, what do you call this? The main offices.
Yeah, it's like the. Yeah.
So I came there and I looked for an office to look for work. So they asked me from where did you came. I say I came from this and this town, a farm. I told him the name. Oh, you have to go back. So if you don't work, you don't get bread, yeah?
Yeah.
You don't get nothing. Otherwise, you get a little slice of bread a day, once a day. Oh, what should I do? I became homeless. But I say back, I'm not going. So I decided to wait out, and I find some girls, homeless girls, and we were living in one house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly how long. And I also slept down a Russian oven because I always protected myself, you know, to be away from the door, from the, I was always
Okay,
very
really good.
careful. And the girls used to go back, but I was too proud, you know, to go back
Yeah.
for a little food.
Yes. So they went back.
They used to go to houses and beg for a
beg.
little soup or something. You know, they didn't have too much, the people to eat anyway, but I didn't go. So I suffered from hunger, but I was used to, you know.
Mhm.
It didn't bother me. I was too proud to beg somehow, I don't know why.
Was it nice to have company since you had been alone for so much?
I was with,
was it-
about 3 girls
was
or
it-
4, three I think, in a house. It was an empty house.
Yeah.
And then I say, I must look for work. I don't know what to do. Anyway, I'm walking in the street and I say, what should I do? I'm not going to give up. They told me go back, I'm not going back. I'm going to go further. And I walk in the street and I think, what should I do? I'm lost. And who is walking in the street? From the people, the Jewish people that were on the farm that ran away from them.
Oh my goodness.
The man is walking in the street. I recognized him and I said, what you bought? He says, and he recognized me, what are you doing here? And I say, I don't know, I have to get a job. He says, come, I'll give you an office job. I work in a brick factory and I'll give you a job. I was so happy. Well, I come there and it's 2 girls in the office.
Mhm.
2. The younger was still young. She couldn't work. No job. So anyway, he got me a job to schlep bricks, the clay for bricks.
Oh.
Now they make that with forms, like they put in clay in a form and then
And then
with the
you put it
hand.
in, yeah.
And the bricks were for Stalingrad, to build up Stalingrad. Can you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
They make bricks. So I was schlepping the clay, I don't know what I did there, but I worked hard. It wasn't easy. And summer and winter, they send me, you know, wherever they send you, you have to go. You can't say no. So they send me to in a factory where they make pots, clay, from clay pots. I had to knead with my feet the clay. It was very hard, and I broke my back.
You
Yeah.
broke your.
Yeah. I was then 20 years old, exactly 20 years old, when I was there at the brick factory.
What did you do about your back? How did you?
Oh, I had to work
You had to continue.
with pain.
Yeah.
I fractured.
Yeah.
But I had a
Yeah.
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 In Florida, I fractured again the same place. In Florida, it was very painful. It's like a break. It's
Yeah.
very painful. But there's no doctors, and you have to work. So anyway, I don't remember. Maybe one day I didn't work, maybe because I was in terrible pain. But you have to work, and it was very hard work. And you know, the dough had to be like challah dough.
Mm-hmm.
No lid, you had to take out little stones, you know,
Oh,
or something,
okay,
whatever
yeah.
you found, yeah. And winter it was with ice. Oh, the cold went to your heart. It was 3 times I had to dance on this, 3 times. And then with a shovel to put together like a little mountain, and start again dancing. Three times.
Oh my goodness.
This is what I did. And the other people used to make with with the food in the hand, like, they make the parts, you see, on television.
Were you hungry were you able to get food at this point?
Oh, just a slice of
Just
bread.
a little bit.
Very hungry. No breakfast, no lunch, no breakfast and no lunch. Then they gave us watery soup once a day, a little later. Watery soup.
Besides bread and water, was there any food that you really missed having while
You get used to.
you get used to it?
If I'm going to the bathroom for a second.
Oh, of course, yeah, we
Absolutely,
can
yeah,
do it.
absolutely.
Like yesterday. Just like yesterday happened.
So you still feel close to it then? All the time and all the distance and all the space between you.
You know what? They used to say by us that a person is stronger than iron. Iron also rusts and breaks. That's what they used to say by us. It's true.
What kept you motivated to stay alive?
But
What kept you motivated to stay alive?
I don't know. I really don't know. There's no answer. No answer. When I was running in Minsk, in the city Minsk, and I was on the end, when I was on the end of the city, where they were bombing the factories. I was thinking, did I do a good thing or not? Maybe I did the wrong thing, maybe I should go back. But for the first time I turned, you know how many miles I made? The first time I turned around to see what's going on, I saw the fire reach the sky. Smoke and fire, that's all you could see. I said, how can I run in fire? I'll burn. And this made me run farther and farther and farther.
How did you deal with the loneliness? How did you...
The loneliness can kill you. I kept inside. I never spoke about anything. Never to nobody. You don't have who to talk in Russia. No, it's, when you don't know people. Nobody asked me questions, and I didn't have who to talk. I had to keep everything in my heart. That's all.
How did you retain some sense of connection with God?
I left God everything. I left to Him, and He helped me. He helped me really. And okay, so
You were at the,
we were in the factory. Yeah. Okay. Then when I broke my back, I said to myself, I was, when I was a child, I was a smart child.
Yeah.
Everybody said that I'm very smart. My parents, I used to hear when they used to talk, and the grandparents. And whatever I did, I was thinking. Whatever I want to do, I was thinking, over by myself. And in Europe, you don't discuss, what you want to do or whatever. try yourself, to be a human being, a nice human being. And in Europe, the parents don't talk too much to children, like here. They discuss things, because everybody had a hard life, everybody was busy. My mother had five children, she was busy with the children, she worked very hard. They had to wash clothes by hand, not by machine. We didn't have a radio, we didn't have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Electricity we didn't have in our town, also. So life was not easy. But they took good care on the children, and they brought up the children very nice. It was a quiet life, happy life, was good. And what can I tell you? I had a good childhood.
Yeah. Yes, that sounded like you had a
My
good-
parents were very nice. My father was so quiet. He never yelled at us. We were sometimes, a little loud, children play. He just gave a look, and already, I knew that I have to respect him. And we were quiet, we quiet down, when we were playing around.
Yeah.
And got a little noisy sometimes, like children do. And my mother was a very busy woman, a hard-working woman. So I had a good childhood, really, and I come from a nice family. I was very proud of my family. Yeah.
So what did you do? How long were you working
The
in
clay
the
fac-
clay
the clay
factory?
factory.
Yes.
Okay. Then I figured, if I work here, I'll die here. I don't want to die down in a clay factory. I'm gonna further. And I heard that the Germans left Stalingrad. The Germans,
Yeah.
they were 6 months there. Not one house remained there, nothing. Bombed out, they fought for every house. And all the soldiers in Russia were killed, all of them. Nobody came back from there. Whoever went there, they came back. Because they won the war there. So I heard when they left, I said, this is a good opportunity in a city I can meet Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
Because there, nobody. Yeah, one thing I forgot. This man who gave me the job, he passed away. He also developed some, I think, lung disease, what is it called?
Emphysema.
Let me think. Not pneumonia, but
Emphysema?
no. You spit out your lungs. It's
Tuberculosis.
tuberculosis.
Oh, yes.
Tuberculosis. Sometimes my brain doesn't work. Sometimes.
That's okay.
I know the names, but so I had with another few girls. It was winter time to dig a grave for him. Another few girls that I worked together. Can you imagine for this man? And then the family left. They left the place. I don't know where they went. And this was already before the end of the war. So I figured I must go to Stalingrad. So I asked the boss, and he was very anti-Semitic. He was from Ukraine originally. He ran away from the Germans. He was a big, fat man, but very anti-Semitic. So he says, oh, you want to go to Stalingrad? I say, yes. And he says, if you don't work here, you're not going to work there either. You're not going to want to work. See the way he talked to me?
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm not going to listen to him. I'll go higher. And I went to the youth organization. And I knocked on the door. This was the name was Yolan. Oh, there was written in the paper.
Okay.
Yolan. where all the offices are, where I was in the house there with the 3 girls. And I knock on the door in the office, the youth organization, and guess who is there? The girl that I worked in the field,
Oh,
Tanya.
wow.
Tanya was her name. When I saw her, I was crying. I couldn't stop crying. I was ashamed. I couldn't stop. I couldn't talk. And I just cried and cried and cried. It was a miracle. She was the head of the Komsomol, of the youth organization. I never thought that I'll see her again. And then I quiet down, calmed down. She calmed me down. I said, we worked together on the field and sang Russian songs and worked very hard. And I said, Tanya, you are the only who can save my life. I want to get out of here because I'm going to die here. It's not for me a job to do. I never did things like that. So she says, okay, look, if I can't help you to my organization, I'll go to the head of the all the organization, you know, the grown-up people like.
Yeah.
And she got me papers. She called me, and I went and I got the papers, and I came to this man, and I said, here, I'm going to Stalingrad. And he looked at me. He couldn't believe.
Were they fake paper? Or did you have to fake your identity, or did you?
I didn't have anything. She just gave me papers with my name and everything. She knew me. And that's it. And this was the biggest miracle in the world. So I was so thankful to God, you know, what happened. I got on a train and I went to Stalingrad. And I came to Stalingrad, and the city was very smelly from dead. Dead people were swimming still in the water, the soldiers. Can you imagine?
What did it look like? Were there any buildings? There was
Just walls. Not one house left. Nothing. And they had 3 floors, houses, all kinds. And Stalingrad is about 50 miles long in 3 sections.
Mm-hmm.
First Stalingrad, second and third. The third Stalingrad is all the way on the end of the city. And the Volga River goes, and the factories go where they make tanks and all kinds of munitions for the war. They had 3 shifts working there. So when I came, they didn't have machines because everything was bombed. So I had to clean up the city and knock off the cement from the old bricks, and they started to rebuild. We slept in the street, winter and summer, the first year, in the street. Can you imagine?
No. How did you stay warm? Was there any way to stay warm? Was there any way to stay warm?
In clothes, we slept in tents, in soldiers' tents, you know, for material.
Mm-hmm.
In the clothes, we were freezing. We didn't have heat there, nothing.
And you still had the same clothes on that you
Yeah,
had before?
the working and
Yeah,
sleeping in this,
yeah.
yeah. And once a week, we went to take a shower in a bath, a community bath. And then they build up, slowly they build up. But we cleaned up the city, we had to clean up the city. And it, you know, you had to pick up things and schlep around things. It was hard work. And where they send you, you have to go. A piece of bread and warm water once in a while if you can get. They had a kettle in the street, you know. And winter was shivering and knocking with a hammer, the cement from the old bricks. And it was a hard life. Hungry and cold, wooden shoes we used to wear. We were freezing to death. So when we got very cold already, and the wind was blowing, and it's like in Siberia, in Russia. It's very
Yeah.
cold. We were ran in a bomb train a bombed out to hide out, but
Yeah.
it was cold.
It was so cold.
It wasn't easy to live there. So then they started building up, and I wound up in a room with 30 girls, double beds. Yeah, you know the double beds?
Yes, yeah, like bunk bed.
Yeah, and I slept in a corner all the way in the corner. I was always hiding to be safe, you know, to be safe. Yeah, so, and then I got a job, and I worked on 5 American machines. Mrs. Roosevelt came there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wait,
and
so did you see her?
I didn't see her, but I saw the motorcade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she came. She made America send the machines to work because they didn't have machines. We worked in three shifts. Can you imagine? Night and day, night and day. And my name was the first on the wall. And I got Stalin's medal for hard work.
Wait, I'm sorry, can you say that again?
I got Stalin's medal. You know
Oh,
Stalin?
wow. Yeah, yeah.
Through the war front. It's called through the war front for working for the war, for the hard work, automatic, and I made parts for tanks.
For the Russian, for...
My name was the first.
That's
5 machines,
that's amazing.
and then I got a little more food,
Yeah.
more bread. I have a pound bread maybe a day, and a little farina. Lunchtime, farina, a little farina, sometimes a little soup. You know farina?
I don't know.
It's a cereal.
Oh, okay. How do you spell it? It's
Well,
okay.
here they sell farina too. Farina, you make a cereal from this.
Okay.
Yeah? You
I've
don't
never
know?
had it. I guess I'll
Yeah.
have to try it.
It's in American word farina.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a cereal. You cook this.
Yeah, it's like a oatmeal or like a grits.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so then I had a little more food already, yeah. So it was good, but very hard work. I didn't mind. But I had where to sleep. It was a little better.
Did you have any sense of time? Like, how did you get information, like, that
Oh,
the war was...
in the morning too, was a wake-up call, like a siren.
Yeah.
So we knew in the morning we had to get up and run to the factory. But we didn't have breakfast. We got lunch, once a day, lunch.
And
But it was already better
yeah,
with food.
so-
We didn't have meat. I didn't see potato. I didn't see meat through all the war.
Wow.
From 39 till 45,
No,
I was hungry. Yeah.
And did you hear things about the war? Did you kind of...
Yeah. There was like every house had a microphone, like
Oh, okay.
you know, it was a line like. It's not probably a radio, but
Yeah.
everybody heard the news. Yeah.
And at this point, did you
Not
know,
always, not in the factory when I worked. No.
did you know what year it was, or did you have
You know what? Sometimes no.
some? Yeah, but
But when it came a Jewish holiday,
you,
I smelled in the air something. I felt, but I didn't know what it is and when it is, but
there was this
it
instinct.
was a feeling.
Did you ever get to observe?
And I fast just before when the war ended. I fast before the war ended. I fast every day. I fast.
Did you ever get to observe the holiday? Did you ever gather with other Jews in the community?
No, they
Did
didn't
you
have.
get a chance?
They didn't have the rabbi. They didn't have the shulder. They didn't have nothing.
Nothing. So.
No, they didn't have a church there. They had churches, but it depends where you lived.
Yeah.
No, it was communism.
Did and And so you kept working. When was there a point where, like, you knew that the war was about to end, or you knew that?
Yeah, they were talking, yeah, that the war is ending soon, and after Stalingrad was freed, then they started pushing back the Germans back, and I went to the basement in Stalingrad to see where they captured the German
Prisoners.
The German
Soldiers.
officers, you know, the big shots there. So I went to the basement to see. I didn't see the Germans, but I went to the basement to see. It was a bombed out basement. They were hiding there. They had the offices there, in a big building in a basement, and and they gave up, you know.
Yeah.
And they were arrested. I doubt they killed them. They didn't kill them. They had camps from captured Germans in Stalingrad. They had a few camps, and they kept them there. They tried to escape. If they tried to escape, they shot them. But otherwise, they gave them food, and it wasn't bad. It was a bad time. So after, when the war ended, we were very happy.
Yeah.
Very happy. But before the war ended, I was dying. Dying in a bombed out basement from dysentery. I was drinking the water, the poisoned water from the river.
It was so bad because of all the bodies and like gross.
Yeah. And I was laying, and other people were laying, but I couldn't even concentrate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you die, you can't concentrate. You don't look what's going on there. You just think what's happening to you, and you don't even know what's happening to you.
Yeah.
Because your brain doesn't work anymore. Normal, you know.
Yeah.
So then, and this was just before the war ended. And nobody came to see me from the people that I worked with for a few years. Nobody came to see me now.
How did you get to this bombed out shelter? Like, why did you go? Like, what made you go there?
When I worked in the factory there, when I made the parts, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I got sick just before the war. Yeah.
You went there.
Yeah. So they put me in a bombed out basement there. And still, you know, wherever you worked, you had to watch for the, it shouldn't, not to get killed from the,
From
Landmines.
Like
all
landmines?
kinds of ammunitions under
Mines,
the,
everything, yeah.
what do you call this?
Landmines? Landmines?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. There were a lot of mines, all kinds of landmines. You had to be careful. A lot of people used to get accidents, all kinds. So anyway, I was laying on a bed in the basement, and there was no food. We had a nurse there, but no food, and I couldn't eat anything. And I didn't have nothing in my stomach. Everything came out, like all the mucus. I was dry,
Yeah.
completely dry. But there's a feeling that you have always to go, a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So the bathroom was outside, not inside, but outside. It was a community booth,
Yes,
like a booth
yes.
here for everybody. So I had to go there walk, and I couldn't even walk already, but I had to go.
Yeah.
So I noticed that from the other side of the river, of the Volga River,
Mm-hmm.
Women are bringing dairy to sell on the market,
Yeah.
on the black market. And I had a few pennies in my pocket. I always managed to have a few pennies, you know. They used to give us a few pennies to buy the piece of bread, you know, a day. And I saved up somehow. So I bought yogurt. And guess what?
Saved your life.
You'll never guess what the yogurt did for me. The yogurt saved my life. Twice I bought yogurt. and the yogurt, the Russian you cut with a knife, it has live enzymes,
Yes.
and it restored my intestines. It saved my life. You know, I never told a doctor here in America. I would like to talk to a doctor and tell them the story.
Yeah.
This was the biggest miracle in the world. I was really dying. And I was crying and I said, I'm not afraid for that, but nobody will know where my bones are even. And this made me very sad. It was very hard. And I survived. I survived. And I went back to work. And after the war, I didn't want to be in Russia.
Yeah.
So I met Jewish people after the war. Can you imagine? I still didn't meet them down while I came down. In 1945, I met quite a few survivors from Poland, from Warsaw, from Krakow, from Lodz,
Yeah.
From all young boys, mostly young boys. And somebody introduced me to a young man, and they told me he's very nice, he's very quiet, very polite. And they told him about me that I'm very nice. So they introduced me. But I was only 22 years old, and I didn't want to get married.
Yeah.
I just needed false papers. Because after the war, where I worked in Radom in the bank, a young man liked me very much. But I didn't want to get involved with nobody. I was a child,
Mhm.
I was 18 years old, 16
Yeah,
when I
so
came.
young.
I didn't think about boys. I only thought about to do a good job, what I do. But I made money and I sent home. I didn't need money there. I just paid for the rent a little there, whatever. And I made nice money there when I worked in the office. So, where I'm now.
It's okay. Actually, we can, I guess we can look over some questions. I wanted,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just wanted to finish for a second.
Oh, okay, sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Anyway, they introduced me to my husband, and I told him I don't want to get married. I just wanted false papers to get out, to get out of the country. And they didn't let me out because by us it's White Russia now, so I can go home. But I didn't want to go home. I knew nobody's alive anymore, so why should I go home? So I said, I'm going to go with the Jewish people. Wherever they go, I go. I wanted to stick with my Jewish people, from where I come. It was my family, I don't know why. I was brought up very strict Jewish.
Yeah.
And so not that I hated, God forbid, somebody else. I always loved everybody when they are nice, no matter which nationality, It didn't matter to me. Even now, I love everybody. I'm a very warm person. And with all my heart, I'm not false, So anyway, my husband said, no, I can't give you false papers because they're going to put a stamp on my passport. I didn't have the passport he had.
Yeah.
And from where he is was Poland now. So I had to get married. It was so hard for me to do this. And to stay there, remain in Russia I didn't want. For no money in the world. It's like being dead. I didn't want to be in that country. Yeah, it was still communistic,
Yeah,
And you are a slave. You work for the government. What kind of a life is this? You can't do what you want to do. You have to do where they send you and what they say to you. You have to do. A slave. So I begged him, he said, no, you can't do this, you'll have a stamp on your passport and it's not, it will not. And he liked me right away. He liked me somehow, I don't know why. Yeah.
Did you like him at all? Even in the
It
midst
was
of-
very hard for me. I wasn't in love.
Yeah.
I wasn't. He was also very, very skinny, very skinny. He was like from a concentration camp.
What concentration camp was he?
He wasn't.
He was. Did he? How did he?
He was in Stalingrad, and he was a foreman. He took
Okay,
care
so
of
he had
people,
lived in
in a factory also. And he was very skinny, very skinny. If you wouldn't know him, you would think that he got out from a concentration camp. He was like a skeleton. And then when you put on weight, he was a very good-looking man, and a sharp brain, very smart, very nice. So it took me a few years, but I warned him, if he's not going to treat me nice, I'm going to leave him. I warned him.
You gotta be feisty.
He was very nice to me. He loved me very much. Yeah. And when I had children, he the best father in the world.
That's wonderful. I guess we have a number of questions that we kind of wanted to go back and
Yeah.
just work through
Okay.
some of them. And let's see. Okay. So this goes back when you were on the truck. Sorry to go back, but
Yeah.
did you remember speaking with anyone? Did you remember any conversations? I know you were shy, so you
No,
sit and talk.
no, because the adrenaline was working so hard. You don't know, you are not yourself.
Mhm.
You're like in a different world.
Yeah.
Scared, and I don't know, I can't express myself. Not normal. You just try to survive. You don't think about anything, and you can't talk about anything.
And then let's see.
When I ran, I didn't feel that I'm running. It's like somebody is carrying me on a wing,
Yeah.
It feels so light. You're not yourself.
Yeah,
I can't describe the feeling.
I can't imagine. You said that the train station when you got to near Minsk, when you got to the train station near Minsk, it was really big, and you had never seen anything like that before. Can you describe it?
The train station when I got,
Yeah.
or the big trains.
Yeah.
When I got there,
Yeah. Why was it so different to you?
What did it look like?
but
Yeah. What did it look
this
like?
was before Minsk.
Mhm.
Before Minsk, the big train station.
Yes.
Well, it was full of people, and it's like a cooking pot. I can describe it. You're in a different world. You don't know where you are and what's doing with you and where you're going, and you don't know what the hand will be, and you can't think straight. It's undescribable. The feeling I can describe. Yeah, lost.
Yeah, because of how different it is.
Very scary.
So when you were in the woods and you when you ran into your relative, why didn't you decide to stay with him?
Well, I don't know where he was going. He was in a mundir, in a Russian uniform, military uniform. And they didn't have a front there. They didn't have the front yet organized. They were running from the Germans. And I don't know where they started having the front where they could fight them.
Yeah.
I don't have idea where it happened. Maybe it's on the way somewhere from Minsk to Moscow, somewhere on the way, I don't know where. So I don't know, you know, your brain doesn't work,
Yeah.
your brain doesn't work, you don't know what to say. I was surprised I saw him there. And he was a relative from the family. Not a very close, but maybe a
So-
fourth cousin, third cousin, something like this.
You mentioned how that when you did get a chance to eat, when you were hungry, you just still didn't.
I couldn't eat.
Yeah, you just still didn't
No.
feel it just hurt.
And you know what? If I would eat, I would die right
Yeah,
away.
yeah, 'cause-
I think I would die. In school, when we came there, they gave us a lot of food in a restaurant with music and everything. And there were a lot of people, a whole train. And I just couldn't eat. I tried,
Yeah.
but I wasn't hungry because I was swollen and unconscious, you see. So I was very sick that time. And then I thought to myself, maybe it's a miracle that I didn't eat, it's better. So I gave to the girl all my food, you know, the Tanya that gave me the little
Yes.
bite of bread.
The
You know, it's like God gave me back my soul. This is the way I felt. And this was the worst thing, the worst feeling before you die, if you feel your soul comes out. I'm telling you, it's like a resurrection
Mhm.
in English.
Yes.
Yeah, and then in the bombed out basement in Stalingrad.
Was there anyone who cared for you while you were in this basement? Or
There
it
was a
just-
nurse, but she didn't have nothing. She didn't have medicine, and there was no food, and there was no water. I don't know, I don't even remember well,
Yeah,
because I was
I
also
remember.
dying. So I was in a bad state.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, miracles happen.
Miracles.
Now, there's a paper I gave you with the
Yeah.
miracles.
Yes.
It's,
Yes. It was
It's,
wonderful.
it's everything what I said there, I think, is there.
Yeah. I think you-
Every number is, yeah, and the end is about when I was dying in Stalingrad, yeah, this was on the end, I think, that.
I mean, obviously, this part of your life, there was so much suffering, but was there any moments that you felt like you were happy? You mentioned that when you were in the fields with your friend Tanya, that you would sing
Oh.
Russian songs. Was there any moment of happiness?
Tanya came to the woman took me and she came to me and she asked me I should give her to eat something. So I gave her soup and I say, remember what you told me? I would never do this, never say anything what you told me, but who is gonna give me here 2 bundles? And you were afraid to give me a little piece of bread. But I would treat you better. I would never tell you who is gonna give me. I told you one time. only.
Yes.
I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but I told you I would never act like this. She didn't say nothing, but whenever she came, I gave her soup. And I say, don't say no to nobody, nothing.
So that
I
was-
didn't say it.
Yeah.
Motya was her name. She was an angel, this woman. The woman that took me in.
That's okay.
Yeah. They also didn't have too much food.
Mhm.
Never meat or anything else there. Just, sometimes she used to make pirogin,
Mhm.
the Russian pirogin, filled with potatoes.
Pierogies, yeah.
And it was delicious. Yes. Is there anything else?
I don't think there is anything else. Do you guys have any questions? I think I got everything.
So after the war, we came to Poland back. And we were about 3 months in Poland. And then from Poland, we came to Germany, to the American zone. They took us, there were people, Israeli people, that they took you to borders in the middle of the night. We had to cross 3 borders, and it was very scary. Very scary, because sometimes people got killed they ran out from the woods down. They used to take away everything, whatever you had, and they killed you after the war. So it was very scary. So we wound up in a DP camp in Germany.
In Germany.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say.
We were 3 years in a DP camp. And we were again hungry. We didn't have what to eat there.
Would you say you were in a better place though at this point, that you felt better even though you were hungry?
Yeah, I felt that I'm in a safe place
Mm-hmm.
between our people,
Yeah, because yeah.
all the survivors.
Did you have a question?
Oh, I was just gonna say, maybe we should save this for.
Yeah. We and our next interview goes more into your life after the war, so we can save this for later for
Yeah.
when Kathy interviews you.
Okay.
Right. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I think this is it. I think unless you have anything else that you want to say.
The people, the soldiers, the Germans, when they went to Stalingrad,
Mm-hmm.
it was very scary. They were sleeping on the floor. There were incidents that you could have been raped very easily. I had a few occasions that could happen to me, but I knew how to get out. I had to fight.
How did I'm sorry, I'm confused.
This is,
why would the
they
Germans?
were going to die. They knew they were going to die, so they didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
This was in the bombing
This was in
shelter?
the, yeah.
This is when I worked on the brick factory.
Okay.
I had a few incidents, but nothing happened to me
Yeah.
because I knew how to get out.
How did you know?
I was fighting to death.
And this happened multiple times?
Well, one time when I had 2 dresses when I came from the clay
Mm-hmm.
factory, and there was a little river in the back of the house. There was a garden and there were trees. And I was washing out the dress that I wore,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to put on another dress. So, it's from clay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So while I finished washing and the dress is drying, it was still a little sun in the afternoon,
Yeah.
the summer, and all of a sudden I give a look and 2 officers are standing, one on this side and on this side. Gorgeous, beauties. When they wear the uniforms, they look very good, but they were good men, very nice. I don't know from what country they are. I mean, in Russia, also, they had dark hair, brown dark, very good looking. So anyway, one takes my hand and the other takes my hand, and they talk to me, and they're very polite, and they ask me from where I am, and I told them I'm from Poland. I got so scared, my heart was like this. So he says, okay, come, we'll have a good time. Both of them. And I said, I'm so dirty. No, in Russian it's different.
Yeah.
Пойдем гулять, Пойдем, come verbringen, come, we'll have a good time. We'll keep company. Something like that. What should I do? My heart was like this, knocking. So I said, look, I am very dirty and I am very hungry. Let me go home. I live right here, and I'll take a bite. I'll wash myself. I'll get dressed nice, and we'll go. We'll have a good time. We'll go. They believed me. And I said, come with me, and you sit in front of the house. And in front of the house, there's like a step that you can, like a bench, you can sit. And I was with 4 girls in the room living that time. This was where the bricks, I was working on the bricks. And they were waiting. I was so lucky, so lucky. I left my dress drying there.
Were you wearing the full dress?
Yeah. And they were waiting. I told them, wait, we'll have a good time. You know, I was smart, I was not stupid. And they were waiting, they were whistling, and I locked the door, and I was with people, so I wasn't afraid. And they whistled, and they left. I didn't. Yeah. Now, the other time is I'm sleeping in bed, and they were sleeping on the floor.
Why were they sleeping on the floor?
There was no
There was
place.
no place
They
to
were
sleep,
going
so they
to the-
just-
They were going to the front. They were
Oh,
going
okay,
to the
got
front.
it. Got it.
So
I just,
all of a sudden, a soldier comes to my bed. He was also an officer, not a plain soldier. And he comes and he says, "You sleep in bed, and I have to sleep. I'm going to die tomorrow, and I have to sleep on the floor." So I say, "Look, it's not my fault." So I got out of the bed and I went on the Russian oven. And here was the woman from the house sleeping. He came on the Russian oven. And he wanted sex. And I say, "No. I'm Jewish and we don't have any sex before we get married." He didn't want to take for no. So then I told him, you know, I have my period. He didn't believe me also. Anyway, so I told him, if you don't go down now, I'm gonna go to, and they'll put you in jail. I'm gonna go to the Haya and tell about you. Then he went. Wow. Can you believe it? And then in the same room,
oh my goodness.
there was a woman from Russia, and her husband was on the front, and she had a little boy. And a man, he was an engineer. When the Germans bombed the bridges, he used to fix, he was an engineer, to fix the bridges, you know, over the border.
Yeah.
What do you call bridges?
Yeah.
My English is not perfect yet. You know, my English is taken from reading books, spelling and talking.
Well, you knew Russian in 3 weeks. You learned Russian in 3 weeks. You're
Yeah,
pretty
but
good at languages.
I was young. I was young. Okay, so where are we now?
You said the woman
The woman.
who was also in the same room, her husband was on the front line.
Yeah, your husband was taken to the front, so an engineer used to come for you, to her, to visit you.
Yeah.
And they used to lock the door down in the room. It was a separate room. She had a baby there, a little boy, maybe 2 years old. And she was from Leningrad, also Russia, it's a big city.
Yeah.
It's near Moscow, Leningrad. So he used to come. One time he brought a friend with him. And I was already, I was in bed already. And he was a very tall, big man, very healthy. Anyway, he started out with me, he started to uncover my cover, you know. And I said, "What are you doing?" I kicked him. I kicked him as much as I could. You know, I fought with him. And he left. But people were in the room, so I wasn't afraid.
Yeah, you weren't afraid.
But still, it's very uncomfortable. So I wasn't very afraid this time because the girls were young girls there with me. But still, he was fighting with me. I fought him off. And I also threatened him. That he'll be in big trouble now.
Did you ever tell anyone, any of your like authorities or bosses about this? No.
Didn't tell nobody. To nobody. There was nobody
Yeah.
to talk. You don't talk to strangers.
Yeah.
And you don't. I was young. I would be ashamed to talk
Yeah.
about things like this, you know.
So
But it was really
yeah.
a hard time. Really hard time. You have to watch out.
Okay. So I have a question as a woman. I wonder how did you deal with having your period during the I know because you
We didn't have.
You-
We didn't
at this
have
point-
napkins. We didn't have napkins. We had pieces of material,
Mhm.
whatever you can get to protect yourself. It was very
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
Very hard. It's a
I
hard
can't.
time. Yeah. You see, but you can live through everything.
Yeah.
If you are healthy, you can live through everything. You see, I never told nobody about this, but I told you now. It's too much.
It is too much.
But in a war, the soldiers don't think about anything because they know they're going to die and they don't care about nobody.
It's
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. It's what you can go through in life.
Yeah.
It's undescribable. Undescribable, really.
Thank you for sharing that. I know that was hard. I know.
Oh yeah. I never told anybody about it, but you know what? I just wanted to let you know, so you'll have experience. I mean, you'll remember things like this. But people can go through. It's amazing. Amazing. But you have to use your brain. You know?
You obviously did a lot.
You live through, and you can tell. So you're lucky if you can tell. But when you can't tell, then it's too late. Then it's too late. So you see, I was after, you know, the psychiatrist. With names I'm very bad. Very beautiful man.
Steve.
He was after me and the young girl, you know, the young woman. She has a little girl, 10 years old.
Yes.
She's so sweet. She
They're
always,
so wonderful.
oh, we're gonna arrange for, we're gonna see. You have to have an interview. You have to. So I didn't want to, because you have to live through again. It's inside, it never goes away, never. So I figured, look, I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. I'm 89. So I figured, I think I'm gonna do it. So the last time when I asked him, I said, okay, I think I'm gonna do it.
We're so glad you did.
Yes, thank
So
you.
important.
Yeah. I have from some paper from Spielberg.
Oh wow.
I don't remember here somewhere. I can't remember that.
I have another one.
Oh, Steven Spielberg here. It's here. Also, yeah. They came to my apartment and they made a tape, video.
Yeah. So you were
They
interviewed
sent
by.
They sent me a letter. I know I have two somewhere, but I don't know I have somewhere else. And you know that?
And they addressed you as Esther, even because that's your.
Esther,
you-
Rivka.
Yeah.
Esther Rivka.
Why do you go by Rivka?
Two names. Hebrew, in Hebrew.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't know you write Esther, but it's two names. You see them?
What year did you have the interview by the Shoah Foundation? When were you?
The
Was it a
interview?
while? Yeah, was it a while? Yeah, when were you interviewed by the Shoah Foundation? It's okay if you don't
My
remember.
husband was still alive, I think. My husband was still alive. He couldn't. He was too sensitive. He went through a lot, my husband. He was hiding in the mountains in Russia, on Caucasus, for 6 months in the mountains, winter, from the Germans. And the Germans looked to kill him. And he was living in a house. And when the Germans came, it was the door, like this a door. The daughter of the house opened the door, and she put him there. And they were looking to kill him. And he says, I thought my heart is jumping out. Yeah. So he ran to the mountains. And 6 months he was living a whole winter in the mountains. And he got pneumonia. Yeah, he nearly died. Yeah. You know what? Wherever you were, or in a DP camp, in a camp, in a slaughter camp, where they used to shoot and kill and burn, or you were in Russia, or you were in the partisans, everybody went through hell.
Yeah.
They are from dead alive. Every person is from dead alive. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
And they go on living. And they got married after the war, and they had children. They were anxious to have a child to replace the family. I thought I'm going to have maybe 10 children. And then I gave up. I said, no. First of all, you have to educate them. You know, you can't. And we came with nothing. So we're finished?
I think
I think
so.
I think so. You did a wonderful job.
Yeah, this was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, wonderful. God bless you. You do a very good job.
Thank you. I tried to operate the camera.
You have a big mitzvah, because it's not easy for you. Not easy. It's touching, very touching. You already had a lot of interviews, yeah?
Actually,
No,
you're
our
our
only
only
interview.
interview. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're.
This is
Yeah.
the first interview?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just do one interview with you.
You're it.
Yeah. The class is broken down into groups, and then we're paired with a survivor, and you're our survivor, and we focus on your life and your life throughout the whole class. I mean, that seems like a big, but we do, yeah.
So, okay, this interview, you are in the class,
Yeah.
and you tell the story?
There will be there will be a part where we tell.
After we
This
will
one.
interview you one more time, and then afterwards we will each create a story out of your story.
So that's what.
And you're gonna tell the story in schools?
Yes.
Yes.
We'll tell it.
We'll tell it at Shabbat.
Yeah.
We'll tell it at Shabbat.
At our school.
At our school, yeah. We're very honored to be able to tell your story.
Thank you. Sometimes I don't believe myself that I'm alive. I really don't believe. I don't know. How did I go this through? How could I do this? I don't know. Unbelievable. You know, this took years and years and years, and days. They were days that a day was a year, a whole year. And then I pushed the day because when you're hungry and you're cold and you're scared, it doesn't move. The time doesn't move at all, especially when you're hungry. Oh, I had an incident when I worked by the bricks.
Mm-hmm.
A girl came over to the factory and she worked with me after work, and she said, you know what, I heard that on this station, the station was a half a mile from the factory. There is, they are loading sweet potatoes to make sugar for the soldiers, for the front. Come, maybe we'll get a few potatoes, come. Oh, when I heard this, I said, oh my God, this is something. I didn't sell potato to all the war. I'm gonna bake. Maybe I'll bake or I'll cook. I don't know. How I'm gonna make this. You know, I couldn't think how to cook, where I'm gonna cook. So we went by foot and we came there. There was 3 girls and I was the 4th one. The 3 girls got the potatoes. I was very shy and quiet. I was a very quiet child, always. And when I came, she says, no, I'm not going to give you because you are Jewish. And this was there in the factory, the factory where I worked. So the girl says, please give her, she's very nice, we like her, please give her, but she didn't give me. I went home and I cried all the way home. I went to bed hungry.
Did they not share any
No,
with you?
I wouldn't ask them. They wouldn't share, no. They were hungry themselves. Do you believe? And this was in Russia. They were all anti-Semitic in Russia.
But the girls were kind to you for...
I was
most of the
very
time?
good friends with the
They were
girls. We
happy?
worked together, we sang together. The Russian songs, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a song, if you come in Russian, I don't know in English how to say, эта девушка, туди, куда хочешься. Oh, you girl, where, like a ball, rolls, where are you rolling? If you roll, if you come to this factory, you can't roll back. You're not gonna roll back. I mean, you'll die there. You know, your Russian comes up nice. so we used to sing this. We were hungry, but we used to sing. You know. In Russian, I remember Russian.
Do you ever get a chance to speak Russian? Or and here
Yeah,
in America?
there are Russian people.
They're here?
Sometimes I speak with them, yeah.
Cool.
I forgot, of course, it's hard, but
Yeah.
it comes back when you know language. Look, if you work in an office, you have to have to know the language. You see, in our office, I couldn't get a job there in our office because, first of all, they gave you less bread. So, and I wanted to do the hard job. I get a little more, a little piece more.
That was probably worth it.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't set up the time for the next interview, so we probably should do that now. Does this time on Wednesdays work for you, or is this a good?
Yeah.
Is this still working?
Yeah,
You're
the
not too
time is
busy?
good in the evening, yeah, because sometimes I have to go to a doctor, but if I go in the daytime.
Okay.
My daughter takes me.
So when should we?
Do you want to get your calendar so we can schedule one more interview?
Yeah.
Okay.
Video. We got a lot. It's gonna be like double out about. Oh, it's okay.
Are there holidays coming?
I don't think there are holidays coming up.
What about next week?
Just
Wednesday.
Next week on Wednesday, yeah.
You know, the old calendar, the Jewish have a Jewish calendar. Okay. See, I have an October appointment with Dr. O. I have dysplasia. Dysplasia amalgam. I had a few operations. So all it's always, I had to get this in Florida. That's why the children brought me here. So I have a oral surgeon. I had 2 operations here, 2 operations in Florida.
What about in next week?
Oh, you wanna make November?
No.
October?
What about, yeah, are you free then? On the 10th?
The 10th, I think so.
Or we could do the 17th?
One second.
I'm sure they are.
So I feel like I was thinking maybe go to Fresh Mart. I don't know if I want, because they usually have like chicken and like sandwiches and stuff.
Okay.
So mixed up with the dates, but I don't know where I am with the dates.
That's okay.
I have a new calendar already for. October, no, I didn't. Somebody gave me a calendar. It's a Jewish calendar. Let's see. I know in October I have, no, it's okay here. I have in October this appointment. Yeah, I think it's okay. Here would be okay.
Okay. So,
Okay.
so the 17th
The 10th.
Or the
or the 10th?
Which one?
What you like better? What's better for you?
I was
I don't
thinking
think it matters
Mondays
either.
for them.
What is
Do you
better
wanna
for you?
do you wanna wait till the 17th and then
Yeah,
she has
Yeah,
some
that
time
would
to-
be better actually. Why don't we do the 17th?
Okay.
Yeah.
And the same time?
Well, this is for you good the time, no?
Yes,
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 this is perfect.
yes, this is
This
good.
is perfect.
Okay,
yeah.
because you go to school.
Yes. Okay, so 5:45, October 17th.
Mm.
At
5:45?
5:45. Yeah. And Kathy will interview you about your life after the war.
Okay.
Hopefully I get some more happy memories.
After the war, a new life began after the war. A new life, a new beginning.
I'm sure.
Like you get newborn, you start from the beginning.
Mm.
You start out with nothing. No trade, no nothing. I'd never worked. I wanted to be a housewife and take care of children and bring a family. This was my job. I didn't want to be rich. I didn't look for money, to have money and richness, no. But it was very hard to come after the war. We didn't need help. We didn't have help. Like we needed a psychiatrist. Somebody should talk to you. You still carried like an wounded heart, like a wound on your heart, like a sore, a heaviness in your brain. You know, like a darkness. You lived in the darkness, like yeah, I can't describe the feeling.
No, I understand.
Very hard. It takes a long time to come to yourself. After such a bad dream, it's like a bad dream, and you can't get out. And we didn't talk. For many years, kept inside everything. And it's very hard. And also to bring up children. You know, you can't tell your children because they are small. You can't hide their feelings. You have to hide your feelings. You don't smile. And the children feel. And many times I speak to the children, they say they felt something. They felt something, but they didn't talk about it also. Never said no. I know my oldest child came in once and she cried. What are you crying? She was playing with a girl. She says, why don't I have grandparents? Why? You know, my friend has grandparents, they come there. Go explain to her. Or I put on a yahrzeit candle, you know, a yahrzeit candle. You know what it is, yeah?
No.
Yahrzeit was, are you saying, you know, when you put on when every year the date when somebody passes away, we put a candle.
Yes, yes.
Are you saying English?
Yes.
Okay, she came and says, what's the candle? What is this? How could you explain? You can't explain to a child. So you hide, and you don't tell nothing to your child, because you don't want to hurt your child. They don't understand things like this. So it's a complicated. Do you see the psychiatrist? Do you see him often?
Yeah.
He's such a nice man.
He's so nice, yeah.
And his wife is so beautiful. You know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. I go to the synagogue every Saturday, every holiday. I never like to skip. If I'm sick, I would maybe go, but, you know, even if I don't feel too good, I would go. I love it. My daughter came for the holidays last year, this year. And the synagogue is right there where we eat lunch. They set up all this. And this psychiatrist, you know, came over and he says, you know, the girls like you very much. So I told him I like them also. They're very sweet, lovely girls. I like them too. And while we are talking, and his wife is standing, and my daughter gives a look. She knows his wife, she's a teacher, and she knows it because she was teaching in school there where she taught. So they were kissing and hugging, and they were so happy. And the young girl, what's your name? The tall girl, she has a little girl, 10 years
I don't
old.
remember her name.
I don't know.
I'm bad with names, very bad.
Apparently we're really bad too.
She works also with him. Jennifer.
Jennifer.
That was that was bad.
Sometimes my brain works, sometimes not.
Apparently
Yeah, but you are young. Yeah.
I see her every Thursday.
So anyway, Jennifer is standing, and my daughter says, you know, I know you, and I know your mother, because my best friend is your mother's best friend. And Joyce is your mother's best friend. So they're all friends.
That's
So there was,
Small
I
world.
said, what for a small world we are in.
that's so funny.
Yeah, so we had a big laugh there. You see? So they were all very happy. They were hugging and kissing. And Joyce is working in a place where you make mammograms.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, very nice girl. She's like a sister to my daughter. They are like sisters. My daughter has about 3-4 friends like sisters. Really. I never saw something like this. Very close. They love each other. They go out once a week. They go to a restaurant and they meet at evening to relax. Very nice girls. I met them all. Yeah, very nice. So what can I give you? Something? Can I give you something? Would you like more tea a little?
No, I was gonna take your one of the plums.
So take it. I'm going to go tomorrow shopping. Go ahead.
I ate one. I ate one. It was
So,
very delicious.
yeah.
I'll give you mine.
Take it. I'm
Thank
going to go
you.
shopping. If I would have more, I would give you some more things.
no.
No,
But you
Thank
know,
you.
my daughter
No,
had
thank
your the twins children, the boy, the girl, for 5 days. So she couldn't take me shopping. So tomorrow I'm taking a shopping cart
you're
and
going
I'm
shopping.
walking to the store.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a big outing.
Oh yeah, and it's not easy for me to walk so long far, but I'm gonna rest. I can always sit down on a stoop, rest. Yeah, I'll go to the drugstore and I'll buy something. You know what's very good? There's a cream that, I ask my daughter so she gets me because I don't go shopping. So there's a very good cream. What's the name? Let me think. Philosophy. Did you hear the name
Oh,
Philosophy?
the skincare.
Skincare for
Yeah,
the face.
yeah.
So that's why I don't have wrinkles. You think because of that?
I think so. I think it's because you're young at
You know,
heart.
it's expensive. It's $40. Very
They
expensive.
always get you with that.
$40, it's a lot of money. But you apply just a drop. Hope in a jar. You hope. You know, people sometimes don't think that I'm 89 years old. They think that I'm younger because I don't have wrinkles. They say, I have already
Steve
wrinkles.
and Jennifer thought you were much young.
What?
They thought you were much younger.
Steve and Jennifer, yeah.
Yeah.
They
thought
when
you-
we yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they had no idea how old.
They thought you were maybe only 5 or so during the war.
My hearing is a little better. excuse
They
me.
thought that you were only 5 years old during the war.
That you were
That you
that you
were
were much younger
Much-
when it happened. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
89. I'm
It's-
gonna be 90 in June 10.
It's the cream. It's
It's the cream.
And I just got injection, IV injection for osteoporosis. It's Friday will be 2 weeks. I had side effects. I had to stay 4 days in bed. Side effects, yeah, for the osteoporosis. Because when I was young, I was hungry. I didn't have vitamins. You know, my gums were bleeding always in the wartime. no food, no. It's a terrible thing. Your whole body gets ruined.
Yeah.
It's not a normal life. When you're young and you're hungry and you work hard and cold and everything together, your body gets ruined. The bones get thin. That's I have a problem with my gum.
But you seem so healthy for what you've been through. You seem really healthy for me.
Look, I'm still alive, so it means I'm healthy. This is a very good pen. Would you like the pen?
Oh, I guess.
You
Sure.
need a pen?
Thank you.
I have
more
plenty.
pens.
Okay.
Always need more pens. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have to thank you. You're very sweet. Okay, listen. Would you like some popcorn?
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.